Yeah. Fascinating. Isn't that fascinating? I got one that says 11. Isn't that fascinating? I love it. I love it. That means, you know what that means? It means that there's some good stuff getting ready to hit the airwaves. So, hey, everybody on YouTube, take two. I've got people. I had a couple of different emails and a couple different stories. So here's the great news. We're getting started. We're moving forward. And I just want to go through it again. Listen, and if this isn't the idea of done is the new perfect, confusion, chaos, it's going to happen. Doesn't matter. So just know that you got to put the smile on. You got to say, isn't that fascinating? So I appreciate everyone being here. Hey, listen, so yesterday we talked about moving from design, from drifting to decision, right? Yesterday we decided to stop drifting. If you decided, because I can read your text now, if you decided to stop drifting, put an SD, just an SD in the chat if you decided to stop drifting. And the reason that's important is that today you've got to make that same decision. You've got to make the decision to stop drifting and turn decision into desire. That's what we're going to talk about. So let me ask you something first as we move into this process. When you first wanted to have your big dream, when you were little and you had some of your first big dreams and you shared it with your mom or your dad, I want to be a doctor. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a ballerina. I want to be a truck driver. I want to be fill in the blank. Write it down in your journal. What did you want to be when you were little? Now, you may or may not still want that, have that desire. It may have been way over the top when you were little. Here's the thing I want to ask you. When you first learned what you wanted, was it too much? Not too much for you. You're the one that had it. Was it too much for the people around you? Some people gave you a subtle glance. Some people gave you a little sigh, right? Maybe, did you ever hear the words, be realistic? Others said, you're selfish. That's not how life works. Who do you think you are? I want you to type in the chat what you wrote down. What you wrote down. Somebody said, my dad said no. Do you realize that got programmed in? If you respected or honored and loved your parents at all, that stuff got programmed in. I listen, when I was 5, stop being an idiot. That's what I was told. Stop being an idiot. Don't be stupid. That was one of my mom's favorite lines. Don't be stupid. So every time I had a dream, for me, every time I had a dream, every time I wanted more, every time I said yes, every time I set my goals down, every time I wrote my goals down, back in the brain, in the recesses of my mind, right? Sometimes a big hollow auditorium, you could hear a pin drop because it's just so big and empty. In the back of my mind, I heard every time I wrote down a goal, unconsciously, I heard, you're stupid. I want you to really let that settle in for just a second. I don't want it to sink in. I want it to settle in. The reason you're struggling right now, the reason that your DMP seems so audacious, the reason your desire seems so far-fetched, the reason that your dreams seem out of reach is because of that old programming. That's not how life works. What are you, selfish? What are you doing? And so, like many, we began the slow process of silencing desire. Now, I can promise you, we all have desire. We've silenced so much of it. If we were ever at a level 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, if we were ever a level 10, we think a 3 now is probably a little bit too much. That's a little too much for them. That puts a little twirl in their skirt. That's people don't know how to act when I'm a level 5 of energy. You follow me? So instead of learning how to keep our desire at full volume, instead of learning how to make our desire a little bit stronger, we made it a little bit smaller. Year after year, decade after decade. We called it impractical. I want to be the world's #1 motivational speaker. You, farm boy from Ohio, barely made it through high school. See, that was a story I used to tell that I believed. Now I tell it to be believable, to understand where I came from and how I got here. I doubt you can do what I do. When people say, if I could do it, you could do it, there's probably a snowball's chance in Haiti you could do what I did. But here's what I do know for a 100% fact. You can do what you can do. You can't do what I can do. You can't do what I did. But you can do what you can do. Right? How many of us have ever made our dreams polite? We've made our dreams polite. Who'd we make them polite for? Not for us. You know what it comes down to? Addiction to approval. So in doing this, making them seem a little more practical. We called them impractical. You know what? You're probably right. That probably isn't. Let me back it down a little bit. This making sense? Let me back it down a little bit. And what we've been doing is that we separated ourselves from our internal compass to this space and place, to this compass that allowed us to live with others in mind. Today, we're going to address that. Because here's the truth. The truth is, from a physical perspective, desire is not indulgence. Write that down. Desire is not indulgence. You are not indulging yourself. You are not being indulgent. You're not having the Giardelli brownies. Is that how you say them? The brownies you get at Costco, the big box, right? The Giardelli brownies, the Giardelli. Oh my gosh, that's indulgence. I'm indulging myself. No. Desire is not indulgence. Write this down. Desire equals instruction. The reason most people fail miserably at activating their desire is because they've been told it's indulgence. Oh, you're just high on the horse. You're just, aren't you Miss Goody Two-Shoes? Aren't you all about you? And then what happens is that we have addiction to approval. And every time we think good thoughts, every time we think big thoughts, every time we think next level, every time we say, I am on or before December 31st, 2026, creating $250,000 in residual income. I want you to write down on the sheet of paper in front of you. I wanted you to write down by 2026, December 2026, how much money do you want to have come into your life? Don't go crazy, right? There's the impractical part of it. Just put down a number that's a stretch for you. We're going to do a little exercise. If you want to type it in the chat, feel free to type it in the chat. You don't have to. Only I see it. I don't think you see the other people chatting because it's only the host and the panelists. It's just me. So now here's the thing for you. You got a number down? Awesome. I want you to double it. I want you to feel in your body when I say double it. Go ahead and double it. Double it. This number that you have down there, double it. Now write it down. Do you feel that in your body? Where'd the desire go? That's not the feeling of desire, is it, for most? The majority, 99% of you who write this down, who write down the doubled number, that is not the number. That is not the feeling you want. It's like, I don't know about that. What? I'm sorry. At what point is it too much for God? At what point is it too much for the universe? You follow me? Now, let's go one more time. Is it harder for the universe to give you $1 million than it is $1? Is it any harder for the universe? Not for you, for the universe. Is it any harder for the universe to give you $10 million versus $1 million? No, because the hard part, we make it the universe. The hard part is us. Who do we need to become? That's why I want you to write it down again. I want you to rewrite it. Write it again. I don't care if you write it over the same letters. Desire equals instruction. I'm going to burn that into you today. Desire equals instruction. Say it again. Desire equals instruction. Write it out. Desire equals instruction. I'm getting the chills. How many of you are getting the chills, the goosebumps, the chill bumps, the chicken skin, the duck skin, whichever kind of skin? How many of you are getting desire equals instruction? This, my friends, is when you have a breakthrough. When desire equals your instruction. See, when you have desire, you'll begin to learn the things you need to learn. When you have desire, you'll begin to do the things you need to do so you can learn the things you need to learn. There you go. When you start to feel desire, I hope it's coming across. I hope it's coming across. Desire equals instruction. In fact, research shows, listen carefully, this isn't just Sean pulling it out of the air or out of my ear or other orifices. Research shows that when people suppress core desire, they experience more internal conflict, they experience depression, they experience loss of motivation. This comes from, you can write this down. You can go research this white paper yourself. Kaiser, Kasser, Kaiser and Ryan, 1996, called Intrinsic Motivation Studies. The truth is, it's a physical, psychological challenge. And when you switch desire equals instruction, life changes forever. And that confusion you felt, the inner war between clarity and hesitation, it's not because you're lost. It's because you've been trained not to trust your signal. Some of you have been involved in the NEST program, and you pick your personality, your signal, your frequency. You have some core beliefs. You have some core capabilities that can be tested in a caliper test, a disc test. I want you to become aware of your signal. When you start to work on your DMP, when you start to build and create your definite major purpose, you start to activate a signal. You start to, a little antenna, like the man from Mars, my favorite Martian. Oh, I just dated myself. Drop a 1 in the chat if you, drop a 2 in the chat if you've never heard of the TV show My Favorite Martian. Those of you international, probably not. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard of My Favorite Martian. He had a little antenna that popped out of his head. When you activate your desire, you activate this little antenna, right? Because research has shown, Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich, that our brain is both a sending station and a receiving station. So this idea, this confusion that you felt isn't between, it's this inner war, this inner tug, this inner battle between clarity and hesitation. Not because you're lost, because you've been trained not to trust your signal. We're going to fix that today. Today, you'll re-meet your desire, not as a fantasy, as a direction. Here's the part I want you to truly understand. What I teach, I've kind of coined it personal undevelopment. There is not one thing you will need to learn to activate your definite major purpose. Oh, you'll learn new skills, new talents, new tricks. You'll learn new ways, new hacks, new ways to do things. None of that can happen because the new way to do something is going to require you to be in a new frequency, a new signal. And what you're going to find, here's the thing. Just stop for just a second. Let me have your, as undivided. If you're driving, please be careful. If you're doing something else, operating heavy equipment, if you're listening to me in earbuds while you're doing brain surgery, outstanding. I want your attention for just a second. What if? I want you to write down, what if? What if? What if it wasn't as hard as you thought it was going to be? What if it wasn't as hard as you thought it was going to be, as you keep telling yourself it is? What if, soon as you trigger in, soon as you lock in, soon as you connect your desire and it creates your direction, soon as you have your definite major purpose and you're processing it and you don't have any resistance in it, is it possible? I'm asking you, is it possible that arriving at your dream is going to be easier than you ever thought? Wouldn't that be nice? I can tell you it is. If desire equals direction and you have your desire turned on, tuned in, fired up, fired on, and you are ready, let me ask you, what is going to be difficult? What will be hard if you're constantly moving into your highest version? What would be difficult if you're constantly moving into your higher income? What could be difficult if you're stepping into your best version of you? Drop a P in the chat if it could be possible. If it could be possible. Just drop a P in the... See, if it's possible, then it's probable. And if it's possible, you have the chance to make it possible. Today, we upgrade desire from shame to strategy. Let me be clear. Wanting more is not ego. It's evolution. Wanting, put an equal sign with the slash through it, ego. Put wanting equals evolution. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't the tree, have you ever seen, let me ask you, I think maybe you all are, I might not be, but there's a chance we're all a little smarter, maybe smarter than a house plant. What I mean by that is, don't you see house plants leaning towards the sun and then you got to turn the plant? Have you ever turned a house plant so that it leans back towards the sun? Wanting is not ego. Wanting is evolution. Write that down. Wanting is evolution. Desire, instruction. Wanting, evolution. Feel that. When you give yourself permission to want deeply, you activate your reticular activation system. It's in your brain. It's already in your brain. The filter tells you your nervous system. The filter tells your nervous system what to focus on, what to pursue, what to magnetize, what to bring to you. I can tell you this, there's a lot of people in my world, there's a lot of people I get to hang around who tell me often, you won't believe what happened. And they're excited about it. I've been doing this for 4 decades, teaching, training. I've gotten better in the last 2 decades. I've gotten pretty sharp in the last decade. And in the last half decade, I've unlocked some pretty powerful connections. Oh, they're out there. It's not that I created something new. I'm not going for some peace prize. I didn't build something new. I just connected some dots that have always been there that will now release your highest and best version of you. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring in something right now. So if you're not driving, if you're in a safe place, I want you to just kind of roll your shoulders a little bit. And I want you to, this is called EFT, energy frequency, right? Energy freedom technique. It's actually called tapping. Some of you have heard it. Some of you probably use it. We're just going to do one thing of tapping right here on the karate chop. And I just want you to tap here right now. My definite major purpose, you can repeat after me. My definite major purpose is becoming clearer by the moment. I am going to allow my desire to give me direction. I'm going to allow wanting to be evolution. My direction is my desire. My evolution is my wanting. Shake it out. How many of you feel a little different? If you feel a little different just because we did that, drop an F in the chat. See, this isn't just about you putting information in front of you. This isn't about me talking to you. I truly want to have a dialogue. There is a dialogue going on in this moment. I'm doing a lot of the audible. You're doing a tremendous amount of the non-audible. And I want you to be a part of this. I want you to be a part of your success. You know, Mel Robbins says, no one's coming. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming. I can tell you, you're going to show up. You're going to show up and take care of you. So this thing about the reticular, the RAS, we've all heard of the RAS. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't heard of the RAS, it's a part of your brain that says what you think about, what you program it for. See, what most people don't talk to you about is programming the reticular activating system. We think, okay, well, I want to see things that are green, and I'll be darned if you don't see things that are green. How many of you have ever gotten a shirt, bought a car, got a watch, and you're like, oh my God, everybody has one. It's a phenomenon called intentional blindness that you're no longer blind to. Would it be fair to say you've been blind to your own levels of greatness? Would it be fair to say that? I know it would be fair to say that. It would be unfair to think you need someone else to activate your greatness. Your greatness already exists inside of you. It's already there. So if you've ever been held back by clarity because of what others might think, addiction to approval. If you've ever filtered your truth to protect someone else's comfort, addiction to approval. And if you've ever looked at someone lovingly, boldly, and watched them living their best dreams and thought, how many of you have ever said this? You've watched somebody, they're living their dreams, they're living their best life, and you said, that should have been me. Today's your day. Desire equals direction. Wanting equals evolution. If you ever start to feel that little knot in your stomach, you start to feel a little tightness in your throat because you're speaking these words out loud, this is a great tool. You don't have to understand all of the rest of the tapping here, or the side of the nose, just right here. Right here, this activates, this meridian activates your ability to say, hey, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm going. I'm cool with that. Okay? Got it? Okay. So, guess what? If you've ever looked at somebody, right, and they're living boldly and you said, that's me, should have been me. Today's your day. Write down in your journal, today's my day. This is your moment to remove the veil and write the truth and reclaim desire as direction. So I want you to begin to start reclaiming your internal compass, your desire. I just want you to breathe just for a second, right? If you're taking a note, finish your thought, finish your thought, finish your thought. I just want you to breathe. I want you to think of what is the most strength, the most powerful color you could breathe into your life. I want you to imagine yourself breathing that in. Breathe it in, feel it go into your lungs, and then I want you to exhale the color of doubt. What would be the color of doubt? Breathe in that color. I see this brilliant green because it's based on my heart chakra. I see this green come in, and exhale, it's like a smokestack of a truck. Fear and doubt. Breathe in this faith and courage. Breathe it in. This is where you activate your desire. This is where you turn yourself into the next level. This is where you remember who you are. That's why you're getting the chicken skin, the goosebumps, the energy freckles. I've never heard him call that before. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if somebody has ever said that to me. Energy freck. I don't know. Anyway, this is going to be fun because I don't know what the heck's going on. Desire has been distorted. Desire has often been distorted, silenced. It's been labeled as selfish. It's been labeled as unrealistic. And it's been labeled as unsafe. Yet actually, desire has been your inner directive. This core expression of alignment and leadership. And suppressing it can lead to internal confusion, loss of drive, and emotional shutdown. How many of you know somebody? I'm not saying you. How many of us know somebody who's experienced that? This idea of this inner directive, letting it show up, letting it speak out, letting it connect with you. See, when you reconnect, when you activate, when you imagine this string, when you imagine these 2 points connecting between your desire and your internal compass and your want, and you connect this, you activate the brain's reticular activating system. It's the goal orienting filter, right? You can write RAS, R-A-S equals goal filter. That's your goal filter. It regulates your emotion and energy around suppressed longing. I can tell you there's a lot of people who long for their dreams. Isn't it time to get them? Isn't it time to step up? Isn't it time to step into this agency of who you are? This isn't the time that you own this capability and capacity. Isn't it time you step into this agency called you rather than longing? So in your notes, write down, activate my agency. Well, I don't know what the heck that is. We'll get to it. What is an agency? When you think of an agency, isn't it an organization, a community, a group of people who work for you? My agency can help you with that. It's not just me, it's my agency. You have an agency of creativity. You have an agency of desire. You have an agency of passion. You have an agency of love. You have an agency of communication. It's time to activate all of them. Use this space today to reflect deeply. And without censorship, don't censor, don't censor. This is not about goals. This is about owning your wanting. So in your journal, in your notebook, in your pages, write ownership of wanting. Think about that for a second. I'm going to ask you some questions now. You can write these down. We're going to do a little work. I told you, these are working moments. These are working workshops. This isn't just me yapping away. So here's what I want you to do. Actually, let me ask you, would it be easier if I shared my screen for these for this conversation for you to be able to see the quotes or not? Would you just like to write them down? 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes. Okay, so I'm seeing yeses. So hang on here a second. Let me do something. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. So I'm going to share with you my notes. Where do I do that from? I do that from over here. Share, share, share. And listen, a lot of times people say, well, I can't show up with notes. I can't. When I do a keynote speech, it's 25 hours for an hour speech. I'm really focused on understanding and getting it memorized. This, I got an outline. We've been talking for 20 minutes now, 30 minutes, and I barely made it through page 1. So here's the questions. So I want you to go through them one at a time. We'll take some time. I'll give you some time to fill them out. But the first thing, I want you to declare this. I want you to fire up your reclamation, your reclaiming. What is one thing I deeply want that I've been afraid to say out loud? Write that down. Write it down. Take a screenshot if you want, and you can just do the answers. You can look at the screenshot in just a second. But I really want you to ask this question. What is the one thing I deeply want that I've been afraid to say out loud? This isn't kindergarten work. I get it. What is it? Oh, let me get some music going here. Let me get some background music. Oops. Let me move this over here. My handpan guy. I love this guy. Here we go. Let me know the music volume. Is that too loud? Give me a 1 if it's too low, 10 if it's too high, 5 if it's just right. 10, too high. We're perfect. 1, I got high and low. I got a 1 and a 10. I'll lower it just a hair. Is that okay? Can y'all still hear it? Cool. Awesome. What's the one thing I deeply want that I've been afraid to say out loud? This is going to be part of your DMP. This is going to be part of your DMP. Number 2, who or what taught me to distrust my desire? And how has that shaped my life? Who or what has taught me to distrust my desire? And how has that shaped my life? I know these are big questions. I would encourage you to come back and spend some time with it. Something pops out of your head. Something pops onto the page right away. Here's a big one. This is the neuroencoding question. This is a neuroencoding question. When I think about fully claiming what I want, my body feels what? When you step into your fullest and highest version of you, my body breaks out in a sweat. My body wants to throw up. And that's where I learned the phrase for myself. Isn't that fascinating? Become aware. Don't try to shove it in a corner. Don't try to hide it in a box. Let it show up. It might be, maybe it might be the first time in a long time that you've ever truly had a dialogue with your body. When I think about fully claiming what I want, my body feels some of you may go, I don't know. I don't even want to answer that. Next question. Number 4. What would be possible if I believe that desire is direction, not danger? All the rules go out the window. All the rules I've used go out the window. What would be possible if I believe that desire is direction, not danger? Anybody sweating yet? I love you guys. Number 5. I know I'm aligned. I know I'm aligned with my desire when I feel what? I know I'm aligned with my desire when I feel. Finish that sentence. What do you feel when you feel a little like a schoolboy just asked to prom? That's what I feel like. I feel like the girl I wanted to go to prom with, who's already got a date to prom, just asked me. I don't care if the other guy got in a car accident or can't go or whatever, but she asked me. I feel excited. I feel giddy. I know I'm aligned when I have that giddy feeling, when ideas just start flashing into my mind and my body is like, yes. What's it for you? I know I'm aligned with my desire when I feel. See, this is feeling, not thinking. I want to get you to feel it. Feeling. The version of me, number 6, the version of me who honors their desire without apology would what? Ugh. We're 30, 45 minutes in. Can you give us some easier questions? Nope. This is your DMP. I'm telling you, you're going to break free. You're going to break free. You're going to break through. You're going to break up with the old version of you. The version of me who honors their desire would, without apology, would do what? How would you talk? How would you walk? How would you sleep? When would you wake up? We're creating a new set of neural patterns in your mind. Y'all got that? Okay. It's good stuff. So here's your closing declaration. I am no longer shrink. Let me share it again and make it easier for you to write it down. If you're okay with that, let me share it again. Where's my button at? Over here. Oh, share screen. Big green button. Share. Share. There you go. I am no longer shrinking my wants to fit someone else's comfort. I am no longer shrinking my wants to fit someone else's comfort. I choose to trust my desire. It's not shameful. It's sacred. Oh, I want you to hear that. It almost makes me cry. It gets me highly emotional. It's not shameful. It's sacred. Your wants are sacred. Write it down. My wants are sacred. I'm telling you, when you activate this, you're going to feel your signal. People are going to notice you and notice something about you. When you operate from your signal, people are going to say things different to you. I'm no longer shrinking my wants to fit someone else's comfort. I choose to trust my desire. It's not shameful. It's sacred. How y'all doing? Type a G for keep going, or type B if you need a little break. G for keep going, B for break. Okay, I got going. Here we go. Okay, keep going. So now let's talk about, here's the peak one of today's conversation. The distortion of desire, the distortion of desire. So let's talk about really what happens. What happened to your ability? Listen carefully. What happened to your ability to want? We want. What happened to your ability to want what you want? Not to get by, not to survive. I want thriving. Write that down. I want thriving. Write it down. I want thriving. And when you want it, you can then activate it and say, and begin to understand you are thriving. Not just want on paper, not just nice have tos. It's the kind of wanting that burns, that haunts you when you're quiet. That's the kind of, that's desire. That's the wanting. Ugh. I can tell you, Kim Gill was my first wanting girlfriend. We went to Cedar Point together. You couldn't get, I was 15 years old, 16 years old. And I wanted to be with Kim. I wanted us to be called boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't know if she wanted it. Eventually I figured out she did. And we became boyfriend and girlfriend for about 3 weeks in the summer. But there was a wanting. I couldn't walk to the dogs to feed the dogs. I couldn't walk out to feed the cows without thinking of her, without her crossing my mind, without me having a conversation with her. Drop a W in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, if you understand that kind of wanting. That's the key. That's the desire. Not, I want to be the top rank in my network marketing company. That's not a wanting. That's a strategy. That strategy, that level, that success gives you something else. It changes you into the person you want to become. That's the wanting. The wanting that burns, and that haunts you when you're quiet. Because for most of us, it wasn't the lack of clarity that derailed us. It was the distortion of desire. We distorted it. We let other people put their fingers in our pie, in our pudding. We let other people mess up our design. There's a kind of a something fun I do. You ever, when somebody's writing their name or taking notes, you ever bump their elbow? Drop a B if you were like at an event and you bumped somebody's elbow where they're writing and their pen went, right? You know what I'm talking about? So in this, maybe some of you are, I guess some of you aren't as mean as I am. If you've ever bumped somebody's hand, moved their arm, made them mess up their writing when they're taking notes, that's a distortion. You change the way, you change their pattern. Can y'all still hear me? Drop a 1 if y'all can still hear me. Just checking. Just want to make sure. Okay, good. Because I didn't see any B's. I'm like, wow, you guys are all really nice people. You don't mess with people like I do. That distortion didn't come from you. It came from you wanting to please other people, from you wanting to be practical, for you saying, I don't want to be too much. At some point, the world, whether it's the family, your culture, right? I'm Irish. Some of you came from international places. Some of you have a very strong ethnic background. Some of you maybe have some strong religious background. I was raised Catholic, right? The schools I went to a school, my high school was run by the Brothers of the Holy Cross. They told us what you want is selfish. It's unrealistic. It's unsafe. My teachers told me, don't be crazy. Don't be Murph, just come on, come back to earth. Put your feet on the ground. Get your head out of the sky. Have you ever heard that? And so what did we do? We folded. We replaced desire, ladies, this one might be you. We replaced desire with duty. This is who I'm supposed to be. We replaced longing with logic. And we chose to be liked over being lit up. We chose to be liked over being lit up. Write on your journal, I'm lighting up now. Lighting up. Lighting up. My desire equals direction. My wanting equals evolution. And my passion is lighting up. I am lighting it up. Let's get lit. So according to the self-determination theory, this is by DC and Ryan from 2000. So it's 25-year-old history already, 25-year-old. Human beings thrive when pursuing intrinsic goals. Human beings thrive when pursuing intrinsic goals, the ones that are deeply personal and meaningful. Yet when they swap those goals for external rewards, like what? Like approval? Like what? Like status? Like what? Like safety? We experience burnout, confusion, and loss of direction. According to self-determination theory, DC, DECI, and Ryan, 2000, you can Google it. Human beings thrive when pursuing intrinsic goals, these things that light you up, fire you up, the ones that are deeply personal and meaningful. Is reaching the next rank deeply personal and meaningful? Is enrolling somebody deeply personal and meaningful? Deeply personal and meaningful? No, it's not. It's not. You know how I know? Because 98% of the people struggle in network marketing don't do it. 98% of businesses fail in the first 2 years. 90% of businesses fail in the next 5 years. Do you know how I know it's not personal? Do you know how I know it's not meaningful? It's because they fail. You do not fail when you have this intrinsic, you have this burning desire. When your desire equals direction, when your want equals evolution, you cannot fail. You can't. It's when we turn it into external rewards of approval. Do you like me? Is that okay? Is it okay? Did I do good? Am I bringing value to you? Did you thank me for what I'm doing? Is that okay? Can I thank you for what you're doing? Is it okay if I thank you? Right? Approval, status. Well, you know, I've been in this business for 20 years and I've reached this rank and I've reached that rank. Or safety. I'm afraid to expand into new markets. I'm afraid to expand into new areas. I'm afraid to use new technology. You know what happens? You know what happens? How many people do you know have burned out? What keeps you going? It sure as hell ain't the income. It's your desire to want more. And what keeps happening is somebody keeps throwing the wet blanket on you called addiction to approval. Somebody keeps throwing the wet blanket on you saying, really, that you're not balanced. You need balance in your life. F balance. And F means find balance someplace else. I don't know what you were thinking it meant. You will not be in balance when you go after your desire. You won't. You just can't. It's impossible. If I want to go work on my body, if I'm going to the gym, I'm not with my family. If I'm working on my finances, I'm not working on my mind. I might by default. If I'm working on my mind, I'm sure as heck not taking care of my society. If I'm meditating, I'm not taking care of society. If I'm focused on my faith, I'm not working on my body. I'm sure not working on my finances if I'm working on my faith. You follow me? Put a UB if you understand now what unbalanced means. Doesn't mean you got to be a witch on a broomstick or a warlock on a warpath. When you become unbalanced, it's the first time you get to live your desire for what you want. Now, I'll tell you, you got to tell people you're going on a journey. You're going on the hero's journey, the Joseph Campbell hero's journey. No one can go with you. You can't take them with you. You can't drag them through your door. See, this isn't failure of motivation. It's a survival strategy that's gone stale. If you're worried about approval of others, if you're worried about the status and what you look like, if you're worried about maintaining safety, it's not a failure of motivation. You're motivated. I promise you, you got bills. You're motivated. I promise you, you got family to take care of. You're motivated. I promise you, you got people to feed. You're motivated. Why aren't you having more than you want? Why aren't you receiving? Why aren't you leveraging it? Why isn't exponentially the return on investment, the return on energy? Why isn't it coming back to you in bucket loads and truckloads and dump truckloads and ocean liners filled with success? Because you're in a survival strategy that's gone stale. You were never lazy. You were self-protecting. Write it down. I wasn't lazy. I was self-protecting. When you hear those words, I wasn't lazy, I was self-protecting. Do you feel it in your body? That's addiction to approval. Do you feel it in your body? That's neuroencoding. This is how deep this goes, that it's so hard to write out what you want. It's so hard to write out the feeling that you want. Desire equals direction. Wanting equals evolution. It's okay. Here's the truth. Desire is divine. Write it down. Desire is divine. See, you believe that your desire made you dangerous. It does. Desire is divine. You're dangerous to your old story. You're dangerous to those who are wishing you not to win. You're dangerous to those who doubt you. This is how your soul whispers its assignment. How many of you have ever been assigned homework? Here's your new homework. Desire is divine. Feel it. Desire is direction. Desire is divine. Wanting is evolution. Say it. Say it. This is your mantra. This is your cadence. This is your coup de grace. This is your desire is divine. The drift is the disease. Then clarity of desire is the cure. If drift is the disease, then clarity of desire is the cure. And it's not about wanting more. It's not about wanting more. It's not about having more. It's about wanting to become more. Oh, desire is direction. Desire is divine. About becoming more, not about more. You don't want more. You want to become more. Write it down. Becoming more. Write it down. Write it down. Feel it. Say it. Desire is direction. Desire is divine. Wanting is evolution. Becoming more. I'm becoming more. I'm becoming more. Ooh, wow. I got turkey skin. That's how big the goosebumps were just then. They were huge. Oh my goodness. It's about wanting to become more. That pull you feel to rise, it's not ego. How many of you feel this little, you're maybe sitting a little stronger, you're breathing a little bit more. Take a big breath. Feel that faith and courage. Exhale fear and doubt. Listen carefully. That pull that you feel, that desire that you feel, that want that you feel, it's not ego. It's your encoded instruction. It's who you've been. It's what you were meant to. Why am I here? Here's why you're here. That feeling is, this is why you're here. This is your purpose. And if you want to lead, you cannot lead from disconnection. Oh, snap. Preach it. Say it again, Sean. Okay, I will. If you want to lead, you cannot lead from disconnection. You have to be connected. Today, your job is to reconnect with the raw, unfiltered, unedited desire that's been whispering under the nose, under the social media, under all those things that have caused you distraction, delay, difference, and aggravation. Today, your job is to connect with the raw, unfiltered, unedited version of you that has been whispering beneath the noise. Not what you think you should want. Listen carefully. Not what you safe, not what's safe to say, not what you think you should. Well, what should I want? No, we're not here. We're connecting with the raw, unfiltered, unedited desire. Not what you think you should want, not what's safe to say, not what sounds good on Instagram. It's what makes your heart pound. It's what makes your life unmistakably yours. Write down on your sheet, write down in your notebooks, my life. Right? My life, just big letters, my life, my life. Desire equals direction. Desire equals divine. Wanting is evolution. My life. Feel it. Desire that makes your bones remember who you are. Desire that makes your identity shiver into alignment. Oh, you feeling it? I hope I'm not the only one. I don't think I'm the only one. I think I'm getting it from you all. Desire that would break you open if you said it out loud. Desire that'll break you open if you said it out loud. That's the real you. And that's where we begin. Oh, you ready? Are you ready? Distortion of desire. We're going to reclaim the core truth of what you want. The core truth of what you want. The first and most powerful enemy of purpose is not lazy. It's desire distortion. We have distorted our desire. Our desire has been, you know, the silly putty, right? Drop a 1 if you know silly putty. You know silly putty, and you put it on a cartoon, and you saw the cartoon face, and then you distorted it, right? Like Jim Carrey's face. At some point, someone taught you that wanting was wrong, that big dreams were unsafe, that bold clarity was liability. What actually happened is your brain created a pattern to keep you safe. Disconnect desire equals avoiding rejection. No, say it's not true. Yeah, we disconnect from desire to avoid rejection. Man, oh man, oh man. What does the brain do? Brain says, will this kill me? This isn't new science. This isn't me making up some mumbo jumbo. This isn't me wanting to get you to look at a different program, a different thing. This is already inside of you. You know this. You know this. You know this at your core. You know this at your center. You have been playing too small. So we disconnect desire so we avoid rejection. Based upon the self-determination theory that we talked about, right? When desire is externally managed, we become reactive. Think about that. Desire. So maybe do a T chart. Desire. Put the T, desire at the top of the T. And on the left, put external. And on the right, put internal. T chart. Desire. External. Left side. Internal. Right side. When our desire is externally managed, meaning from the outside in, Joe Dispenza says your personal reality makes up your personality. That's external to internal, or your personality, internal to external, makes up your personal reality. So where is your desire? What does it mean? What happens if we have an externally driven desire? We become what? We become reactive. Ooh, that happened. I got to fix that. Ooh, that happened. I got to fix that. Ooh, they said this. I got to respond to that. That's number one. Number two, we become people pleasing. We become a people pleaser. I don't think I'm a people pleaser. I think, you know, those people, you ever hear those people? You could tell somebody to go to hell and they'd look forward to the trip. I do my best to not tell you to go to hell, but I ain't hanging around your crap. I don't please people. I make people feel good. That's a different thing. I'm not making you happy at the sacrifice of me. And then paralyzed by indecision. External desire is paralyzed by indecision. You know anybody who's paralyzed by indecision? PBI? What happens if all of a sudden we make desire internally out? Wouldn't you become proactive? Maybe just across from reactive, you're right, proactive. Instead of people pleasing, don't you become a pleasing person? How many of us know people who are people pleasers they're just aggravating to be around? They're always wanting. They're needy. And they think I want to do something for you. No, go away. And then, so a pleasing person. So from people pleasing, external to internal, to a pleasing person, internal to external. And instead of paralyzed by indecision, activating action of decision. Same stuff, changing the flow. This part of the conversation is to help you separate the voice of conditioning from the voice of calling. See, on the left side, you were conditioned. On the right side, there's a little yearning. There's a little voice inside you that says, be proactive. You're proactive. You can be proactive. You can be a pleasing person. You can have conviction in your decision. Right? So you all ready for some more questions? Drop a Q in the chat, or if you need a break. Drop a Q in the chat if you're ready for some more prompts, some more decisions, some more questions from this desire distortion. Okay. Here we go. Buckaroos. Where's the share at? So I got to go back over here. Hey, is this good? Is this some good stuff? I hope this is good stuff. I mean, I know it is. I hope I'm doing a good enough job on it. So take a screenshot and come back to it. All right. What messages did I receive growing up about desire, ambition, or wanting more? Ooh, snap. Now, my dad was wildly proactive. We get some music going here. My dad was wildly proactive. He had been through this. He'd been listening to this for a long time. Music okay? I think I got it in the same spot. What messages did I receive about desire? Who was it? Was it mom? Was it dad? Was it an aunt, uncle, teacher? What's the one that stands out most? What beliefs do I now recognize were never truly mine? We could end the workshop right there, and you'd be writing for a month. What beliefs do I now recognize were never truly mine? And again, you may want to come back. I'm going to encourage you, just like I've read Think and Grow Rich for 40 years. I encourage you, come back and look at these questions again. What parts of my desire have I filtered or edited to avoid judgment? Number 4, when I think about reclaiming full desire, what emotions arise? What memory is connected to it? When you think about stepping in to your joy, when you think about stepping into your highest version. What memory is connected to that? That you can, that you can't, that you shouldn't, that you're not good enough to do that. You're more than capable. You're the most genius of the family. What's the memory that's connected? Is this all part? Is this what I have to go through to make my DMP? If you want it to work. Otherwise, it's just a wonderful bunch of words on a page that aren't producing the result. I want to uncover. We have to unlock what's been holding you back. Number 5, where in my life am I still asking for permission to want? Is it at work? Could you ask for a raise tomorrow? Is it in relationship? Can you ask for the next level of the relationship? Where in my life am I still asking for permission to want? And number 6, what would it feel like to stop performing and start pursuing? I'll tell you what it felt like for me. Now coming up on 6 years ago, December 19th, 6 years ago, 2019. Yeah. When I saw somebody do something on Facebook and I was like, I am done. I'm done playing in the stands. I am done shouting from the stands. I've got to get on the field. And I started my morning call. Get out of your effing way. Still going today. I am not performing. I am pursuing a vision and a mission. There's your questions. Here's the declaration. I am no longer available for deluded desire. Oh, sing it, brother. I choose to trust the voice within that knows exactly what I was born to build. Man, I gotta tell you, I come up with some good stuff. I am no longer available for deluded desire. I'm not here for small talk conversation. I'm not here for deluded desire. Imagine if you sat across from somebody and said, hey, scale of 1 to 10, what's your desire for success? Not with me, not with what I do, just your desire for success. Oh, it's a 10. That'd be the first time they're kind of fibbing. What if your goal was to show them that they could actually be a 10? It can take some work. See, I choose to trust the voice within that knows exactly what I was born to build. How y'all doing? Been an hour. Do we need a break? Do we need a couple minute break stretch? Let's do that. Let's just take a couple minute break. If you got to go pee or something. Hold on. Where we go here? Go ahead. So let's, yeah, it is intense. Take a break, review your notes, take a breath, drink some water. It is on my clock, 12:09. So at 12:12, 9, 10, 11, 12, we'll take a 3-minute break. We'll do a 5-minute break. 12:14, we'll come back. 12:14, because I think this is going to go a little more than 90 minutes. So if you're okay with that, well, it's going to happen. So let's take a 5-minute break. Take a 5-minute break. Let me see if I get a timer here. 5-minute timer. 5-minute timer. 5-minute. 5-minute timer. There we go. And we'll start as soon as this timer goes off. There we go. 4-minute, and I'll share the screen. See, technology, it's just real simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. All right. See you in 5 minutes. I guess I could play some music too. Sure, thank you. All right. All right, we're back, everybody. If you're back, drop a B in the chat. If you're not back, drop a Z in the chat. Oh, it always cracks me up. Here we go. Okay. Take a big stretch. Oh, it's okay. Your brain's probably. What? Yawn. Oh. Ah. You deserve this. This is for you. Yeah, baby. All right. So let's continue on. Anybody have any huge breakaways? Any huge takeaways? Anybody want to share something? Any big aha? Because I can unmute you. I don't know if that turns on your camera or not, but I can definitely unmute you. If anybody's got a big aha, drop a A in the chat and I'll unmute you. If not, we'll continue on. It's okay if you have a big aha. Some big stuff. It helps when you share it. It helps when you allow yourself to experience it. So Diane, let me get Diane. Let me see. Allow to talk. So guest talking permitted. I don't know if you have to unmute yourself. Let's see here. Do I have to unmute? Ask to unmute. There we go.
Hello.
Hey, Diane.
Hey. Well,
That's when you know you're in trouble.
yes.
Wow.
Oh, so many nuggets, so many bonuses. And one of the things is that you said was disconnect from your desire to avoid rejection. That was a big one. And to reclaim the core truth of what you want. So it really, that one hit me big.
Leaves a mark, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
So let's take it to the next level. Now that you're aware of that, awareness is key. What would you have to become aware of to know that you've been doing that, to know that it's a pattern, it's a habitual pattern, it's a safety mechanism that you have running in your programming? How do you now address it so that the DMN, the default mode network, doesn't keep running it? What do you have to do? What do you think you might have to do? What are you hearing pop up in that brilliant soul of yours that says, if I've been disconnecting my desire to avoid rejection, here's the thing I hear, well, I'm just going to go be rejected. You won't be rejected if you're operating from your desire. Nobody can reject your desire. You can allow their rejection to keep you from your desire.
Yeah, like you said, what parts of your desire have you filtered or edited?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now if Diane decides, especially with what you've recently gone through, nobody can stop me. Nobody can tell me I don't know. Nobody can say, I've got this. I've got a mission. I've got a clock that's ticking and I've got a mission. I don't care what you say. You are not going to affect me. See, rejection is allowing that external to affect you, the people pleasing to affect you. If you know your core mission is true, you know your core mission is safe, you know your core mission is love, you know your core mission is value, who's it going to upset? Who would say no to that?
I have to take ownership of it, right?
And when you take ownership of it, it's kind of like your house. Who are you going to let in your house? Somebody's going to go, I don't like the wallpaper.
Yes.
I don't give a rat's butt. You don't live here. How many of us are letting, and I'm going to use this, how many of us are letting other people decorate our house that they don't live here? Did you ever toilet paper a house when you were young? Or ever seen a house get toilet papered? I don't know if they do mean things like that in Canada.
Well, we did when I first went into nursing. That was one of the things
Okay.
our seniors made us do.
Okay. So you toilet papered a house. How many of us, other than it being a rite of passage, imagine if every Thursday somebody came by and toilet papered your house, you'd be like, I'm going to find them. I'm gonna find them and shoot them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we letting people toilet paper our dreams?
That's true.
Do, 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 do.
And yesterday when we did this, when we talked about the decision, closing the loop,
Yep.
that's what I put down. It's um I wanted to be more confident about my health and my products, and I feel and I have kept that's what's kept me healthy throughout this process.
Yep.
I'm stronger, healthier, and more energetic. And that was one of the statements that I made.
I dare somebody to tell you the products don't work. Could
And it
I
does.
tell you the products don't work? Could I be emphatic? Oh my God, those products from your company are the worst. Wouldn't you just giggle?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So can you have, so that's desire. That is a definition. That is a decision. You know that you know that you know that you know. That's all a DMP does, is to get you to know. And then you say it again, and maybe you know and you kind of know. And then you say it and you write it, and you say it and you write it, and you say it and you write it. Then you know that you know. And then you say it and you write it, you say it, you write it, you say it, you write it. And then you know that you know that you know. And then there is no unknowing. There is no doubt. There is no, yeah. Oh, I think that's crazy. Well, I'm glad. You should get on a bus. I'm selling tickets to Crazy Land.
It's the feeling too, right? Like the more you write it, the more you feel it in your bones.
And it's the kinesiology. You know this from being a nurse. You know this from taking somebody's temperature or pulsating or whatever you call it, for palpitating for their, to find their vein or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I could do that all day long. I don't feel a freaking vein. There's something there, but I don't know if that's a muscle. I don't want to stick that. I'm not going to be drawing my own blood. Right? The DIY method doesn't work if we don't know what we're doing. It's why we have to have somebody guide us, somebody mentor us, somebody push us through.
That's true.
So it's important for you, for all, when I say you, editorially, you, all of you listening, to make a decision. Yesterday, we decided drifting is no longer an option. I'm going to decide. Now you get to decide what? Decide your desire. Desire is direction. Desire is divine evolution. Wanting is evolution.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anyone else before we get started? Okay, if you did, just drop an A in the chat. I can't see you otherwise. Yeah, because this is a different panel. This is okay. So let's keep going. So now we're into desire versus fantasy. How many of us have been told our desires are fantasy? Let's clarify something. People never slow down to examine the difference between fantasy and desire, because the reason you might not feel aligned is that you've been chasing goals that aren't actually yours. Oh, snap. You are chasing goals that are not actually yours. So when that becomes the clarity, here's the psychology. The brain doesn't respond to vague or disassociated wants. It needs emotional truth. You heard that in Diane's voice. It needs emotional truth. Otherwise, it looks like lack of motivation. What's really a lack of resonance. What looks like lack of motivation is a lack of resonance. How many times, if you're a parent, you've ever tried to get your kid to do something? If you ever try to get your kid to do something, it wasn't lack of motivation. They just didn't understand it. It didn't resonate with, that's not my vibe. I could imagine if I ever said that to my parent. I'm not chill with this, Dad. Then I'd be picking my head up over there. Fantasy is often built from ego. It's built from status. It's built from comparison, and it's built from proving. How many of us have seen fantasy on social media? Right? Type an IG in the chat, right? Where people have this fantasy and the people live this fantasy and they're living this fantasy. And if you check their bank balance, they don't really have a fan. They ain't living a fantasy. They're living a nightmare. So fantasy is often built from ego. It's built from status. It's built from comparison. It's built from proving. Desire isn't built from alignment. Desire, true desire, is built from alignment. And it's an embodiment, it's an identity, it's a legacy, right? So people are fantasy, and then there's desire. There's alignment. There's this idea that true desire. So here's the distinction. Fantasy is about escape. Listen carefully. So write that down. Fantasy equals escape. Desire equals expression. I was in Louisiana, and no, that's Mobile, Alabama. I'm trying to Baton Rouge. I'm trying to think of where it was in Louisiana. We're doing a team convention. I had just enrolled some people in Latin America. Was the largest team in Latin America. We actually didn't. I opened up 7 countries. So I had a bunch of my team there in Louisiana. I forget where it was, and pretty neat place. And my sponsor, my enroller, said something on stage that I've never forgotten. She said, "We got to get out of their ears and into their eyes." Fantasies is you keep talking to their ears. Let them see your desire. Desire is expression. Desire is the physical. Desire is the action. Desire is you showing up. Too many people keep talking about what they're going to do. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. That's a fantasy. It stops being a fantasy the moment, the instant you take action. And soon, guess what happens as soon as you take action? You feel the difference. You can feel the difference somatically, internally, stoically. There's something you walk with a different gait. You show up differently in your energy. You just feel differently. Fantasy feels like craving, shiny but unstable. Desire feels like clarity, feels like courageous, feels like groundedness. It's almost quiet. See, a burning desire. If you see a white hot flame on a coal, it ain't making a whole lot of noise. When did it make the noise? When it was burning, when it was turning into a coal, when it was becoming this massive storage, this massive energy of heat. In the beginning, it's hot, but it's not like hot like a bed of coals, right? Fantasy feels like craving. It's shiny, but unstable. Desire feels like clarity, courageous, it's grounded, and it's almost quiet. Most people chase what looks good because what feels real is too vulnerable. What? Most people chase what looks good because what feels real is too vulnerable. Here in this room, in this conversation, we name what's real. Your purpose is not built on Pinterest quotes. It's not built on filtered aspirations. It's not built on memes. It's built on sweat, tears, cellular knowing. It's that strange ache in your chest that when you imagine what you really want, but don't yet believe you can have. It's this understanding. It's this understanding that you really want it. It's this desire is that you really want it, but you don't believe you can have it yet. We need to upgrade that. According to neurocognitive research, right? Neurocognitive, your ability, the cognition of your brain, neurocognitive research, decision-making becomes neurologically harder. Listen carefully. Decision-making becomes neurologically harder when goals lack emotional anchors. That's why so many quit. That's why they set surface goals and not soul goals. Let me say that again. According to neurological research, neurocognitive research, decision-making becomes so much more difficult, neurologically harder. The ability to focus on it, say it, think about it, say it again. You're the reason that you can't write your definite major purpose down every day, because it has no emotional anchor. That's why so many quit. That's why we set surface goals, not soul goals. Write that on your paper somewhere big. Soul goals. My goal in life is to leave a legacy of 600 generations. That's a soul goal, baby. That ain't a surface goal. That's a soul goal. You've heard that for the last 5 years, 6 years if you've been around. Leave a legacy of 600 generations. So today we refine, we strip away performance, we name what's left when the noise stops. And we begin building your DMP, not from fantasy, from your integrated internal signal. Chickens are outside my door. I wonder if Johnny will come by and crow for us, our rooster. According to neurocognitive research, I need to say that again for you, decision-making becomes neurologically, meaning your brain it doesn't even want to. Why? Because the brain looks for two things. Will this kill me, or how fast could I recognize the pattern? And if you start to make decisions emotionally, you're not wired for that. You normally make decisions emotionally when you're mad, not when you're happy. How many decisions have you made when somebody's thinking, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, and you're like, yeah. Oh, let me think about things I need to make decisions on. No, when we're mad and frustrated and we got no money and it's the end of the month and I got nobody in my business, it's like, that's when you finally start realizing you got to make some decisions. Why when it's so bad? Napoleon Hill talks about sex transmutation. When you're in that orgasmic state of joy, of happiness, of wanting, of longing for somebody, make decisions. Start asking yourself. That's why he talks about it. Could you imagine 1937? He actually wrote, I'll never forget when I learned the word sex. It was in the farm on Ohio, and my grandmother was talking to my mom, and she spelled the word S-E-X. I don't know, something just about S-E. I didn't know what sex was. And she said, oh my gosh, they were talking about S-E-X. So I was 4 or 5 years old. So 1968, 69, 3 or 4. I can't imagine in 1937 what it was like when they published Think and Grow Rich. Anyways, spiral. They become neurologically harder when your goals lack emotional anchors. So this is the work that makes the vision stick. Let's cut the noise. Let's hear the signal. Let's move into action. Y'all ready? Drop an R in the chat. If you're ready, say I'm ready. Drop an R in the chat. We're going to talk about we're going to do a little work. We're going to do a little work on desire versus fantasy. And I'm guessing we're going to go a little bit longer than 90 minutes. So psychological setup for the somatic truth of filtering. Here we go. Most people confuse desire with fantasy. One is rooted in identity, the other in escape. When goals are vague, externalized, or ego-driven, the brain doesn't take action on them because it doesn't believe them. When you write down a dollar figure and there's no reason behind it, there's no who benefits behind it, there's no emotional anchor to your want, to your wish, to your desire, to your rank, to you fill in the blank, whatever goal you have. Thank God we don't have to have so many emotional. How many of us have a place that if we could go eat, there's an emotional connection to it? Maybe it's the first place you met your love. Maybe it's just good food. Maybe it's good music. Maybe it makes you feel good. Is there any place where there's a restaurant where you feel good? Drop an F in the chat. If there's a place you could go eat that it just makes you feel good. See, that's an emotional goal behind a thing that we need to eat, right? We need to eat. We need to copulate, make love. That's what we're designed to do. There's also things that we can do to make ourselves a little bit more emotionally engaged. See, when goals are vague and externalized or ego driven, the brain doesn't take action on them because it doesn't believe them. True desire is felt, it's known, it's grounded. So, what we're going to do is we're going to sift through the noise and we're going to return to the signal of what actually matters to you. Not what impresses, not what distracts, not what hides the real you. We're going to sift through the noise and return you to the signal of what actually matters. Take a big breath. I want you to breathe in that color of faith and courage, that color that you have, that energy color, and exhale fear and doubt. Let your body respond as you write. Somatic clarity is more than honest mental logic. So you all ready? You all ready for some questions again? Is this okay? Are the questions okay? Drop an okay in the chat if it's okay for you to see some questions. Okay. Here we go. Buckle up, Buttercup. Here we go. Where do I go share? I go over here and I go share and I go share, Sunny and share. For those of you that are a little older, you might get a little smile in your face. Here we go. And get some music going. Mr. Handpan, Pelalex music. This music background brought to you by Sunrise Meditation. Where's my volume at? There it is. A little loud. We'll get it down here. The music okay? What goals have I chased that deep down were about performance or proving? Snap. I can tell you my first round of girlfriends was about performance, was about proving I could have a girlfriend. My first businesses about proving I was smart, not a blockhead farm boy from Ohio. What goals have I chased that deep down were about performance and not proving or proving? Again, these are big questions. I get it. They're big questions. What have I told myself I want, but feel disconnected from in my body? And that's where you would use but, because it negates. I've told myself I want it, but I really didn't tell myself I want it. I feel disconnected from in my body. Has it been the money? Has it been the rank? Here's a big one. Number 3. What does real desire feel like in me? Where do I feel it? Is it warm? Is it heavy? Is it sharp? What's coming up? What are you hearing? Let's go through them again. What goals have I chased that deep down were not performance, were about performance, proving? What have I told myself I want, but feel disconnected from in my body? What does real desire feel like in me? Some of you are logic-based. Some of you are very logic-based, and you're like, I don't even know what that means. That's going to be your homework. You've got to sit in meditation. You've got to allow yourself the concept of being able to feel. Many of us, we've never been taught to feel. Men are taught crying is not for men. Number 4. Buckle up, Buttercup. What am I afraid will happen if I truly admit if I fully admit what I truly want, what will happen? What am I afraid of will happen if I admit to what I truly want? Are you going to explode? Are you going to turn into a pterodactyl? What's going to happen if you truly admit to what you want? Truly, what's going to happen to you? What have you thought would happen to you? What version of me would be required to pursue real desire, not fantasy? Oof. These are big questions. I get it. I get it. You're going to have to take some time. I get it. What version of me would be required? Who do I need to become? Who do I need to step into? What do I need to shed? What do I need to undo off of me so I can step into true desire, not fantasy? And number 6, if no one judged or interfered, what do I honestly, somatically, soulfully want? What do I want with just every cell of my being? I want to be remembered. I want to leave an impact. I want a statue built to me, not for me, because of how I was able to impact people with such understanding that people changed their lives, that people would learn how to whittle and make little wooden figurines of Sean. Not because I want them, because that's how much it impacted their life. That somebody said, I'm there. He was here. He walked in my life. I want my, what did, uh, was it Buddha or Gandhi said, don't let people with dirty minds walk with dirty shoes, walk across your mind, walk in your brain, walk in your thoughts. I want to be somebody that people let walk through their thoughts. Here's the declaration. I am no longer performing for applause or validation. I choose desire over distraction. I choose the signal over noise. I am no longer performing for applause or validation. I choose desire over distraction. I choose signal over noise. We got more. Y'all okay? I know we're a little over 90 minutes into it. I probably should just tell you these are 5-hour deals, 5 hours a day. I don't. Y'all okay? We keep going. Drop a G in the chat. If you need to pop out, pop out. The recording will be live. Okay, so we're keeping going. So here's the psychological setup, the somatic truth filtering. Most people often confuse desire with fantasy. One is rooted in identity, the other is rooted in escape. When goals are vague and externalized or ego driven, the brain doesn't take action because the brain doesn't believe them. We're refining real desire from illusion. That's what we're doing right now. We're taking this illusion that you can have desire, this illusion that you can be clear, this illusion that has just been has avoided you. When goals are vague and externalized or ego driven, the brain doesn't take action because it doesn't believe them. True desire is felt, it's known, it's grounded. So what we want to do is we want to sift through that noise. Okay. And we want to understand that this identity that we have, it's about how we are going to refine our leadership. So desire, imagine having desire, and now imagine your desire is able to transform into leadership, leading you, leading others. When you have a white hot burning desire, people want to hook their caboose to your train. So what is leadership? With this desire that we have, what is leadership? Not as a performance, as an alignment with desire. Right? Most people think leadership starts with a great title. I'm your upline. That's not leadership. That's not leadership. What changes is that when somebody gives you permission, most people think leadership starts with a great title. When somebody gives you permission based upon a title, real leadership stops the moment, listen carefully, you stop betraying your signal. What? Real leadership, desire as leadership, stops the moment you stop betraying your signal, who you are meant to be, who you really are. Psychology shows us that identity forms not through thoughts. Identity forms through decisions. Identity forms through decisions in alignment with desire. When you act from your signal, your subconscious rewires into a belief state. This is who I am. See, this is why when we talk about the chakras, right? There's the root chakra, the sacral chakra, there's the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown, the 7 chakras. We start off with the I am. And see, when your signal is true and you believe your signal, your subconscious rewires it to say, this is who I am. The challenge is my belief that when we start off with the I am statements, your subconscious doesn't believe it. It doesn't have any confidence. It doesn't have any education. It doesn't have any validation. It doesn't have any history where you've said, I am this, and you actually did it. Which is why most people's I am happy, now that, I am wealthy, now that doesn't work. Because they never truly believe it. Their desire isn't in a place to lead them to take action. Does that make sense? So if you're still wanting to feel ready, you're actually just wanting to feel allowed. I'm getting ready. What you're really saying is, I hope somebody allows me to go after my goal. What? Yeah, that's pretty powerful. Let me be clear. Wanting more doesn't make you selfish. It makes you a steward of your frequency, of your energy, of your desire. Wanting more doesn't make you selfish. It makes you a steward of energy. If desire is divine instruction, listen carefully. Oh, this is so good. I wish I was on that side hearing it. If desire is divine instruction, then it's not optional. Oh, if divine desire is divine instruction, then it is not optional for what you were sent here to be. It is your obligation to respond. Drop a B in the chat if that was bonus. I'm telling you, if desire is divine instruction, then it's not optional. Do you realize what that means? Your success is not optional. It's your obligation to respond. It's your obligation to respond. Leadership isn't found in mastery, it's found in movement. If a tree stops getting good, stops moving, it dies. If a shark stops swimming, it dies. Shark is mastered. It is the top of the food chain in the sea world. The great white, pretty, you better be careful. Yet if it stops moving, or if it swims backwards, which it can't do, but easiest way to kill a shark is tow it backwards. The gills don't work properly. It'll die. Leadership is not found in mastery, it's found in movement. If desire is divine instruction, then it's not optional. Oh, baby. When you become a leader, you don't reach a peak. That's not what a leader is. You do not become a leader when you reach a peak. You become a leader when you walk first. When you step out and you do the unknown, when you step into the unknown, right? We talk about what Robbins talks about, significance and certainty. When you step out into the uncertain, when you step out into the unknown, when you move forward, even when you're not fully sure, your desire is. How many times have you stepped forward in faith, stepped forward with desire, driving you, moving you, helping you have more of what you want and less of what you don't? Desire is the fire that tells you your next version is closer than you think. That's what desire does. It tells you that your next version is closer than you think. And every time you act in integrity, you close the gap. Let me say that 100 times. When you act in integrity, when you say, I will, and when you do, and when you take action, regardless of the result, whether it was positive or negative, it was a lesson, it was a learning. Every time you act in integrity, you close the gap between what you want and where you are. And where is what you want? It is as close as your skin. Doesn't take too many steps to close the gap. This is not motivational fluff. This is how neuroplasticity works. This is how your brain updates your identity map only when paired with action. Let me say that again. This is the science behind this. This is the neurological understanding. This is the cognitive biasness. This is you getting this thick thing up here to activate your prefrontal cortex. Your brain updates your identity map only when desire is paired with action. Period. End of story. Full stop. There's a secret. Napoleon Hill said, no fewer than 100 times has the secret to success been revealed in this book. There was one of the secrets revealed in this training. I hope it sunk. I hope it shows up. This is how neuroplasticity works. This is how the ability to expand and grow your brain. Your brain updates your identity map, who you are, what you are, when you are, why you are, when desire is paired with action. Today's not about what am I allowed to want. You ask, who am I willing to become to lead from what I want? Listen carefully. We're not asking, what am I allowed to want? We're shifting to, who am I willing to become to lead from what I want? You have the want. How will you lead from that want, from that place that you've acquired your want? Who am I willing to become to lead from what I want? Let this be the moment that your leadership begins, not because you were told to, because your desire made it unavoidable. What? So today, so today, ask now, what am I allowed to want? Ask, who am I willing to become to lead from what I want? Let this be the moment that leadership begins, not because you were told to, because your desire made it unavoidable. You lead. I show up here. My desire, this wasn't on my dream plan. It wasn't on my dream board. It wasn't on my to-do list. This is on my get-to list to have this interaction with you. I'm not greedy. You're not greedy. Say, I'm not greedy. Say, I'm ready. I'm not greedy. I'm ready. Then let's say together on three, let's lead. 1, 2, 3, let's lead. Take a big breath. Feel it. Oof. Today's session, we challenge the old belief. We challenge the old belief that leadership comes from external validation. Modern psychology and neuroscience tells us something else. Leadership begins when decision aligns with desire. Your subconscious doesn't shift because of new ideas. It shifts because of new actions in direction of clarity. New actions in direction of clarity. Decisions align with desire. That's when leadership happens. Y'all good? Y'all okay with some more questions? Some more prompts? Are the prompts okay? Type in prompts if you want some more prompts. Thank you, Diane. So here we go. Y'all ready? Let me share. This is some big ones. Y'all ready? Is it okay? Here we go. Let me share this again. I wish I was on that side. This is some good stuff. There's an Irish comedian. I don't know if he's still alive, called Hal Roach. Is his name Hal Roach? And my mom and dad, when they first went to Ireland, I think we were in high school. My mom and dad went, and they brought home the cassette tapes of this comedian, Hal Roach. And one of the funniest lines he would always say is, "Go, oh, that's funny. I wish I was out there listening to it. Oh, I'd be laughing myself. That's so. I wish I was out there listening to it. This is some good stuff." Um, did he live to be 100? I don't know that. So let me share this. So share. So here's the prompts. This is desire and decision alignment prompts. Where have I waited for permission to pursue what I know I'm here for? I'm going to leave on that one. That's a tough question. What have I waited? Take a screenshot of this. Please come back and answer these questions. I think we're going to wrap it after this. Well, I've got some prompting. It's just, it's so long. We're going to be 3 hours. All right, let's keep going. I mean, we'll finish this. We'll go through all of this, and then we'll do some Q&A. Where have I wanted for permission to pursue what I know I'm here for? What roles, titles, or expectations have I used as excuses to delay my clarity? In the beginning, I used to have the story of, well, I never went to college, so I got to suffer. I don't have a degree, so I need to make $1 million and lose it. I need to have that story. Well, I got that story. I got that t-shirt. Didn't know I didn't have to have that t-shirt. I didn't need to lose $1 million, but that's the rite of passage. You don't seem to get your stripes unless you lose $1 million. So that was one of the expectations I used as an excuse to delay my clarity. Number 3, what would leading from desire, not from fear or logic, what would leading from desire look like in my life? What would that look like in your life? I didn't get our music going. What have I waited for permission to pursue? What I know I'm here for? Where have I waited? What roles, titles, expectations have I used as excuses to delay my clarity? What would leading from desire, not fear or logic, look like in my life? Number 4, what's one action I could take this week that says, I am already the leader of my purpose? What's one action I can take today, this week, right now, that says I'm already the leader of my purpose? If I knew others would follow my example, this is a big one. What signal would I send with how I live? What's the signal? What would be, right? You know that phrase, if you've hung around me at all, you know I've used the phrase, who you are, speak so loud, I don't need to hear the words coming out of your mouth. If I knew others would follow my example, what signal would I send with how I live? What might you need to adjust? What might you need to change? How you respond to people, how you respond to emails, how you talk about people. Here's a big one, number 6. Number 6, take a screenshot. What does the version of me who leads from desire never apologize for? What? What does the version of me who leads from desire never apologizes for? Mm, mm, mm. I'd encourage you to write these and answer them. Spend some time answering them. We're in section 3, I think. Here's the closing declaration. I am no longer waiting to be called. I lead because I am called. My desire is not random. It's a roadmap. Got one of the big military planes flying over. Hang on a second. I am no longer waiting to be called. I lead because I am called. My desire is not random. It is a roadmap. I walk in alignment, and that, my friends, is leadership. I am no longer waiting to be called. I lead because I am called. My desire is not random. It's a roadmap. I walk in alignment, and that is my leadership. Mm-mm-mm. Ah, this is the VIP stuff. So, got one more session to go through. One more set of questions. Then there's the guided prompts. Okay, let's go through the guided prompts. This other session, let's see here. DMP filter. When your written purpose is emotionally aligned and somatically congruent with your brain focuses on the filter and filter reality through the lens, the reticular activating system. Okay, so here's some more questions. Y'all okay? Take a big stretch. Take a big stretch. Oh, I don't want to lose you. We're dropping people. We're doing a lot. We're doing a lot. Is it okay if we keep going? Let me know. If not, we can pick this up tomorrow and add it in, and we may have to add another day to the 5 days. Let me know. Keep going or put a wrap on it. So I got a G, I got one G, I got an okay. We're okay to keep going. I'll have to wrap in a few minutes. Okay. Okay. Um, let me let you take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this, and you guys can work on this. This will be some of your success work. So screenshot. Here you go. This is filtering prompts, right? What's the deepest desire I uncovered today that continues to echo in my chest? Why don't take a screenshot of this? My definite major purpose is to. My purpose doesn't need permission. It needs precision. Right? I choose to lead from the truth of my desire. And now I write my life from that place. Why do I believe this desire is real, not fantasy? Would I still take a screenshot of this? And you guys can work on these questions. And then I'm going to take you to some promptings. Right? Take you to some promptings. Everybody got a screenshot? Anybody need more time? Drop a T if you need more time. If not, drop a 3 and we'll go. And I'll get you some other stuff and you can do some screenshots. Okay. 3, go. Good. All right. So this is the VIP session conversations. So let's see here. My definite major purpose is, these are some drafting prompts. Okay. So this is the VIP stuff. Whether you got it or not, you're now seeing it. So, begin by checking your body. Am I grounded? Am I seated in my breath? Right. So here's some prompts. You can take a screenshot of that. My DM surprised me when I realized, right? So this is the prompts challenge. Every time you wrote the truth, every time you declared a want, every time you filtered your DMP, you reshaped the map of your brain, right? I tell you guys hear my #1 best-selling album that says we're in a fight for our brain. We're in a war and we're in a fight for our brain. This is literally, and if you say, I'm a healthy, happy person, you rewired your brain. Your brain uses what you map your brain, you reshape the map your brain uses to determine what's safe and what's real. This is identity work. This is how we integrate it. So now answer, or out loud or in writing. What surprised me about what I wanted today? Take a screenshot of this. I'd encourage you. You could use this with your prospects. You can use this with your team. I'd encourage you to use it for you first. What fear did I face when I claimed my truth? What shifted in me the moment I wrote my DMP, right? And your DMP, we haven't written out the whole thing. It's just right now, what is your DMP? I choose me. I choose my legacy. I choose why. What's this idea about money? How fearful are you of reaching twice what you wanted in your income? What will I no longer apologize for wanting? What becomes possible in my life when I lead from this clarity? Right? So you've done something rare today. You're seeing it right here. You didn't just think about your purpose, you engaged in it. You looked at your desire in the eyes, not to judge them, to honor them, maybe for the first time. You stopped apologizing for wanting more. From a psychological and neurological level, what you've done is called self-coordinated goal anchoring. Write it down. Self-coordinated goal anchoring. Self-coordinated goal anchoring, when your actions begin to match your true identity and your values. That's when motivation becomes sustainable. Not because it's hype, because it's home. Not because it's hype, because it's home. Your DMP isn't a sentence on a page. It's a decision you return to. I need you to hear that. Your DMP aren't the words on the page. The words on the page are the decision you decided to return to. Every time you drift, you have to return to the decision. Every time you doubt, you have to return to the decision. Every time you shrink, you play small, you wait, you have to return to the signal. And that's what separates a good life from a legacy. The people who live from purpose aren't better than anybody else. They're just more decisive. And that's why the mastermind exists. That's why you and I working together over the course of the next 12 months exists. It's a container for people who are no longer interested in collecting clarity, yet are committed to compounding it. Compounding your clarity, not just collecting clarity. You got clarity in everything you do. I know to do this. I know when to wake up. I know to eat healthy. I want to compound it. And that's what I do in my mastermind, my year-long program. If this version of you feels more alive, more accurate, more real, then maybe it's time that version of you is made normal. We made that version, we make this version of you normal because you're not behind. You're just one aligned decision away from shifting everything. One aligned decision away from shifting everything. So let's close with a breath. A single truth, a declaration. Close your eyes. Go ahead, close them. If you're not driving, please, if you're driving, don't do that. Close your eyes. Feel what's present. Ask yourself, what clarity did I claim today that I will never again betray? You can write that down. Open your eyes, you can write it down or keep your eyes closed. What clarity did I claim today that I will never again betray? Now, repeat this with me. Say this. I'll say it, you say it. I lead from desire. I lead from desire. I decide with purpose. I decide with purpose. I move with signal. I get excited about it. I am no longer performing who I think I should be. I am practicing who I actually am. Again, I lead from desire. I decide with purpose. I move with signal. I am no longer performing who I think I should be. I am practicing who I actually am. Desire is divine. Desire is divine. So that's how we end this. From decision with dignity into leadership. Questions, comments, thoughts? Anybody have any big ahas you'd like to unmute and share? You got to raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Or I don't know about raising your hand. Don't know if I can see that in a webinar, but you can drop a T in the chat for talk and I'll unmute you if you want to. Big stuff. We're on day 2. What do you think day 3 holds? Y'all good? Okay. Sure? Okay, go enjoy some work over in Serbia, AJ. The world's going to have a fantastic energy spending time with you. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's day 2 in the wraps. And this will be in school. It'll be live. It'll be live in YouTube, right? Day 1 is going to be, soon as I get done with here, I'll make day 1 private. And it's accessible in the VIP. On day 4, VIP is going to go up $100. It'll go to $147. So if you want to get the recordings, you want to have access to this for now until forever, on as long as YouTube exists, go ahead and reach out to me or reach out to Ria and say, if you're in the mastermind, FYI, if you're already in this year's mastermind, you have access to all of this, right? If you're active and up to date and paid in this current mastermind, you have access to this. So there you go. I love you tons. See you all tomorrow for day 3. Buckle up. It's gonna get more interesting. It's gonna get more little shall we say needle pointing and pointing out some other things inside of our life. I'm your head brain training. Let's find our purpose code misfit for our DMP. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. And if you want to join us in the morning at 6 a.m., we do some conversation. And thank you for the next event, Diane. We do some conversation and discussion. We're in the process right now of talking about Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And tomorrow morning, we'll be in chapter 14, The Six Ghosts of Fear. Oh, right around Halloween.